The world is the culture war. That's it. Everything's gone. The middle is just gone. They're quiet. They're not saying anything anymore. And now we just got weird fringe people, and politics be damned, because it's, I can't even tell what's happening anymore half the time. But before I go off on a crazy rant, Doctor Who star Fraser Hines slams show's bosses for PC storylines on historical events. The actor who played second Doctor Patrick Troughton's companion, Jamie, between 1966 and 69, said the show has lost its way under new boss Chris Chibnall. Excuse me. I also like to point out, we'll check into this as well, that it was only a few months ago we saw the ratings were plunging under the new PC storylines. But let me say something. In one of the videos I've highlighted very often, and I'm going to do this is literally me plugging my other channel, Subverse. Please subscribe. It's more boring news stuff, but please. This video we did, how digital devices are warping our minds. We track a study. We report on a study that shows the left and the right have become ridiculously extreme or amplified. Not that people are being radicalized, but they're being amplified by Twitter, and the middle, gone. So check out Subverse, subscribe if you haven't. It's in the info bar on my channel as a related channel. Check out the videos we got. But the reason I bring that up is that I think the reason we see Doctor Who become politically correct is because of this idea that the middle wants this. Here's the thing. Who, out of the moderate, regular Americans, conservative and liberal, how many like racists? Very, very few. What happens on Twitter? The racists are amplified and the far left is amplified. Because of this, people who make TV shows and people who are working are only seeing these two. They then say, well, clearly no one likes the racists, so I'm going to go to the left because historically they're the ones who are right. This presents a problem when you realize that both the extreme left and right are identitarian and extreme. And I know right doesn't necessarily, it doesn't apply here, but I'm speaking culturally, right? It's a complicated issue. Here's what happens. You get a guy who says, well, everyone hates racists, therefore I'm going to go to this other side, thinking that's what people want. It's not. And that's what everyone keeps doing. You are chasing the fringe wackaloons, and it's destroying your show, and it's plaguing our culture. Let's read this. Jodie Whittaker was critically acclaimed as the first female Doctor Who, but the storylines didn't grab everyone. And among those accusing the BBC series of being too politically correct is in its retelling of various moments from history is show legend Fraser Hines. The actor, loved by fans for his portrayal of second Dr. Patrick Troughton's companion Jamie between 66 and 69, said the show has lost its way under new boss Chris Chibnall. He said, I'm old-fashioned. I don't want to know about Rosa Parks. I don't want to know about whether we'd done this, whether we'd done this we could have changed history and Kennedy might not have been shot. I like bug-eyed monsters, monster of the week I want. Jodie's first series as the 13th Doctor, the first time a woman has played the character, was punctuated with storylines from key moments in history. The episode Rosa, screened last October, focused on the moment in 1955 when U.S. political activist Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on a bus to a white person. The incident became a catalyst for the civil rights movement in America. I think the issue was actually not... This is probably really bad for me not knowing my history, but I think it was that she refused to move to the back of the bus, not necessarily to give the seat to anybody else, but she was supposed to sit in the back. Fraser Hines has admitted his taste may be old-fashioned. And the new episode, Demons of the Punjab, shown in November, was set in 1947 at the time of Indian partition, which created modern-day India and Pakistan. Fraser, who features in a new animated version of the Makra Terror, a Doctor Who story from 1967, which was lost from BBC archives, is disappointed that new showrunner Chris focused on single-episode stories because he reckons it doesn't give the plot or characters any room to breathe. He said, I loved it when it was episodic. Now it's all in one, beginning, middle, and end. I liked it when it ended on a Saturday night, and then Sunday in the park or on Monday in the school playground, you'd be like, what's going to happen? Doctor Who was caught there. Is the monster going to get him? Now it's all wrapped up too quick. Just call me old-fashioned. I don't think he is alone in his views. And then they go on from some other story. I have no idea what. But as we saw in the past, this may have contributed to a loss in viewership. But there is nuance here, of which we will talk about. Back in November, we saw this story. Doctor Who ratings plunge after Jodie Whittaker takes over with PC Plus. Angry viewers have described recent episodes as lectures, as the show explores issues like racism, male pregnancy, and disabilities. Doctor Who has lost a quarter of its viewers as many blast politically correct storylines since Jodie Whittaker entered the TARDIS. The first female Time Lord's debut last month attracted an average audience of 8.2 million, but that plunged to 6.1 million on Saturday. And I have to do this because this thing just jumped into my lap. Look at that. Can you see? You see this dude? He's jumping up on me while I'm in the middle of recording. What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to talk about Doctor Who when I got a cat on my lap? Fans complained of being bombarded by preachy, serious messages instead of sci-fi entertainment. Producers under the new boss, Chris Chibnall, have opted to tackle issues such as racism as Jodie, 36, traveled back in time to meet icon Rosa Parks, etc., etc., etc. So here's the thing. It's not the worst the show has ever done. Apparently the ratings are down, but they're actually higher than some in the past. But one of the issues that I want to focus on in this video, and I've got a cat on my lap. This is challenging. Look at this guy. There you go. There's a kitty. And he's freaking out. I don't know why he jumped on me. He always does this. So I worked for Fusion, and I'll tell you guys a story about, my experience and what's happening with PC stuff. While it's absolutely interesting to see someone from the old show coming out and saying, I don't like what's happening here, well, yeah, he's from a different time. I think Jodie Whittaker's Doctor lost viewers because a lot of people didn't like PC storylines. They probably lost more than can be seen through the ratings numbers. So here's the way I would put it. Let's say they lose 1 million viewers, but they gain 500,000 in people who do like PC storylines. Unfortunately, the people who like political correctness are not the majority, they're a fringe minority. So I worked for Fusion. If you're not familiar, Fusion was a joint venture between ABC News and Univision. When they first started, they had posters on the walls that said things about not being partisan and things of that nature. Unfortunately, a few months in, they decided, as their ratings were steadily climbing, that they needed to go full social justice. I'm getting rid of the cat. They wanted to go full social justice. So what was happening was their Alexa ranking was like this, going up. Then they appointed a new editor-in-chief who wanted to talk about gender, and ratings tanked. The Alexa ranking dropped, viewership started dropping because, surprise, surprise, the people who care about these issues are actually a relatively small group. But because of these issues, this cat, because of what I explained earlier with the polarization, you end up with people believing that's what they want. So in the case of Fusion, they had people who, this cat, come on, kitty, go somewhere else. No, get off. Look at this. This is the best video ever. Okay, where was I? Because the consultants were coming into Fusion, and they were saying that, effectively, this is what people want, and this is what we're seeing. But the problem was that they were tracking things on the internet, which are being amplified in... My God. They're being amplified. So the marketing people are being deceived by blips in the data they can't understand. And then going to these companies and saying, this is what people want, the marketing people said so. You end up with Doctor Who deciding to bring on someone to produce politically correct storylines that people don't like. You end up with the ratings going down, and you end up with the former actor saying, you know what, I don't like this. I don't think the reason this actor doesn't like the films is because he's a bigot. I think it's because, as he pointed out, they're not doing Bug-Eyed Monsters anymore. They're going to talk about Rosa Parks and history? Do we want the Magic School Bus, or do we want Doctor Who? Listen, the Magic School Bus is a very fun show. I probably wouldn't watch it because I'm 33 years old, but I get why it existed, and I understand why young people want to watch it. It was fun. Learning is fun. I like science. The Magic School Bus was fun, but more importantly, it was because teachers and parents would make you watch it. Okay, how many adults watch Arthur the Aardvark, which I believe is still on the air? I don't. I do recognize it's a meme, and a lot of people do like it, but it's a kids' show. It's a kids' show because kids don't really care about what they watch most of the time. Sometimes they do. And often you can probably just put a show in front of a kid who'll watch it. So give them the Magic School Bus, they'll like it. But Doctor Who is a long-standing tradition. It's a long-standing show. And it's like, it explores different species and aliens and time travel. They effectively turned it into the Magic School Bus. So, look, this is problematic for a few reasons. For one, as we can see, people don't want to watch it. But you're also doing the first female Doctor. Is it fair to finally have a female Doctor, and instead of giving her amazing storylines like the past Doctors, you turn her into Miss Frizzle? Seriously. They made Doctor Who Miss Frizzle. Jodie Whittaker, who was going to be playing the first female Doctor, critically acclaimed. I don't know if I trust that because of the PC police on various media, but she could have been more than she is now. She could have been leading this epic arc, this epic storyline, but instead they made her Miss Frizzle. Kind of bums me out. But you know what? I'm not the only one who feels that way. And you have people who actually are a part of the show's history coming out and saying so. So, you know, there you go. I'm going to leave it there. Stick around. I'll have more videos for you starting at 10 a.m. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all next time.